From the title, you guys already know that we're going to keep it short, sweet, and to the point because this is fire. So if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl and your pattern sis. You know, that tells y'all all about these pattern cells, okay? Coming through, and you guys know that the KNOWME and the mccall patterns dropped today, Friday, September the 15th, all right? But if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, ciao, Guten, Aloha, Hola, Konnichiwa, Gwaan, Sabonani, Shalom, Bonjour. If you are returning, you guys know what to do by now. Go get your quick snack, something to drink. Come on back so we could go ahead and get into this video. So to keep this short, sweet, and to the point, but give you all the details of these patterns, the first thing I want to say is, I think, in my opinion, IMO, right? In my opinion, I think this have been the best drop thus far. So from here, it can only go up from here, even though I love the patterns. But this collection, I'm really liking. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into this video. We're going to show the KNOWME pattern that just dropped. I think it's about 12 of these patterns. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Starting with the first pattern, you guys know since it's KNOWME, I'm just going to tell you guys the number. I'll do the mccalls ones right after this video. All right, so first pattern is KNOWME, and this is 2049 by Lydia Naomi. So it's a Mrs. Front and Back reversible knit dress. Did y'all just hear me say reversible knit dress? Like reversible. So I would definitely do like a print on one side, solid on another side, so you could get an action on both sides, right? You got two for the price of one. Let's get into the details, all right? So this is a Mrs. Front or Back reversible dress by Lydia. It's an easy to sew pattern. In terms of a sizing, it's two pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 and then 18 to 26 on this pattern. Now, you guys know that with all KNOWME pattern designers, it comes with a sew along, so just stay tuned for the KNOWME pattern YouTube channel so all of the patterns can be featured on for the sew along on KNOWME Patterns YouTube page. All right. Also, in terms of fabric, you will need some knit fabric. That's why it's called a reversible knit dress. All right. So I like the ruching that's going on in the front as well. So yeah, I am definitely going to pick up this pattern. Moving over to the next pattern is my girl Aronica. It is a KNOWME 2050. So when Aronica, aka Needle in a Bill, she sneak peeked this pattern. I was like, yes, did y'all not see when I did her shorts, which is KNOWME 2028? That pattern was good, so I can't wait to sew this wrap dress. It is 2050. Let's go ahead and get into the description. It's a Mrs. and Women's knit dress in 2 lengths by my girl Aronica. So basically, it's another easy to sew pattern. In terms of sizing for this pattern, it's 3 pattern envelopes, 10 to 18, 20W to 28W, and then 30W to 38W for this one. And because it's a knit dress, the fabrics that you can use is any type of stretch. Just make sure you play around with the knit. If you're new to sewing with knit, play around with it to see which way gives you the best stretch. All right. Moving over to the next pattern, it is a KNOWME 2051. I'm going to stop saying no because we already discussed that these are KNOWME. So we're just going to talk about the number, all right? But it's 2051, which is a Dewana Chandler pattern. And it's a jacket, bra, top, and legging pattern. So for this one, it's an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, it's 8 to 16 and 18 to 26 on this pattern. Now, you guys, I normally do not sew athleisure wear or athletic wear. But I am definitely here for the jacket, which is what I want to sew for Dewana's pattern. So that's what I'm looking at sewing. Sometimes probably towards December. I wouldn't even say December, more like January time frame, because it's really not cold here in these Orlando streets until that time. So we're still rocking like 80, 85-degree weather in December time frame. So I could sew it early to wear in January. How about that? All right, moving over to the next pattern. It is 2052. So this pattern right here is Nikki's pattern, or Beauty J'adore's pattern. It's a Mrs. shirt and pants pattern. So when I seen this one as a sneak peek on the KNOWME pattern, if you're not following them on Instagram, follow each and every one of them, because they will do sneak peeks as well of the pattern. I was so excited for Nikki pattern, because if you guys have not noticed, every pattern season, Nikki does her thing. I always be wanting one of those patterns, like Nikki be doing her thing. She knows what she's doing. All right. So thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Beauty J'adore. Right. So this is a Mrs. shirt and pants pattern. It's an average to sew pattern. You guys, I like both. I like the shirt and I like the pants as well. When it comes to fabric, any fabric of your choosing, no need for me to tell you guys which ones that you can use, but any fabric of your choosing for the shirt, cottons, linens, brocade, whatever you want to use. All right. Flannel, just to name a few. When it comes to the pants, same thing. Any type of fabric of your choosing, you know what you want your pants to look like. All right, moving over to the next pattern. It is 2053. 2053, yes. Nikki was 2052. This one is 2053. This is Lindsay's pattern. The stitch fits. All right, but this is a Mrs. Pants and knit top. For this pattern, I really like the pants. That's what I'm here for. The knit top, I have so many knit tops, and you know, like I like the top because I like that it has like a bra situation going on, kind of like a bralette, but then you have the bottom that's a little closed off, so not a lot showing. I do like that about it, but I have so many top patterns that I need to start getting to, so I will probably sew this as a two-piece set, to be honest, but I am definitely here for the pants. All right, but this one is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing for the pattern, the first pattern envelope is 6 to 14, and the second one is 16 to 24. I'm sorry that it doesn't have a plus size outside of that 24, but yeah, get into this pattern, or get into a pattern. If you are plus size over the size of 24, I would definitely say find a pattern that is very similar to this pattern, and then you could do the pants or the top, or hack any pattern of your choosing. All right, let's move over to the next pattern, which is 2054. And for this pattern, it's a Kishi B pattern, right, Marcia? Yes. So if you guys have not been following the trend, you guys know your girl loves cargo pants, first of all, and cargo pants has been a thing for like the last year or so, probably 2 years, by the way. I love the 90s, like we have discussed this plenty of times, but cargo pants, I love cargo pants. So if you drop in a pattern that's a cargo pants, I will probably get it, all right, if I don't already have it, all right? But this is let's get into the pattern description. It's a Mrs. and Woman sweatshirt and cargo pants by Kishi B, all right? It's an average to sew pattern. In terms of the sizing for this pattern, it's 3 envelope because it's Mrs. and Woman. The first envelope is 10 to 18. The second one is 20W to 28W. And then the last pattern is 30W to 38W on this pattern. Now, I think like the cargo pants have like great details for it. I love I call it floating pockets for the cargo style pockets. If you remember when, I think it was back in the springtime when she did 2020, which was one of her patterns for the springtime. She actually showed you how to do the floating pocket. So same thing with this one. She's going to show you how to put everything together. So stay tuned for that, because I am really, really interested in this pattern, and I'm going to be picking it up right when they drop. Actually, I'm going to go to Joann next week because, you know, they just posted on the website. I'm going to go like next week or towards the end of the month, and it should be in your stores. Like I mentioned, if you have not seen my quick caveat, and then we're going to get back to the video. If you have not seen my video, new look fall 2023 patterns dropped yesterday, Thursday, September the 14th. I'm just going to tell you that I talked about how every last one of them is repeats, and I showed you those repeat patterns. However, I also told you that there's no pattern sales this week at Joann's. One of the team members, aka the manager, did tell me that. She couldn't see when the next pattern sale would be, but she did say it's more than a week away. So there's no pattern sales next week either. So probably the week after that, but I will keep you posted. All right. Moving over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 2055. So this one is Neff's pattern, the corny rainbow. You guys, if you missed when she dropped this pattern, I was like magenta, fuchsia, pink, whatever you want to call it. I love what she did with this pattern. All right, let's get straight into it. It's a Mrs. bodysuit and cargo sweatpants. And she is really giving in this pattern. I mean, like literally this pattern is fire. Thank you, Neff. All right. Yes, but once again, you guys know I love cargo. So I like lounge wear, but still being put together. All right. So I love this style that, you know, the corny rainbow did. I love this. But let's get into the pattern. It is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing for this pattern, it comes in 2 envelopes, 8 to 16, and then 18 to 26 on the pattern. In terms of fabric options that you could use, once again, you know, because the bodysuit, you will definitely need to use knit. In terms of the sweatpants, I will definitely say fleece, flannel, knit. You can use knit if you want, but there's many fabrics that you can use. Ponte, sweatshirt, fleece, just for like the cargo style pants. If you use fleece, I would definitely say you might want to make them lightweight instead of really, really heavyweight fleece, in my opinion. All right. But once again, for the bodysuit, you will need some form of knits, and don't forget your rib knits as well. All right. Moving over to the next one, it's 2056, and this is a Donnie pattern. So the last one that he dropped, I did not have him in my release. However, from that video, when I picked up, I'm going to put the one that I did. It was a mccalls when I picked up 25 patterns. That was mccalls a couple of weeks ago. I showed y'all that I actually picked up Donnie Cute pattern, and I didn't pick up a different pattern. I forgot about that. But, you know, I'm going to drop that in the description box below as well as on the end screen. But y'all, do not sleep on these men patterns. I'm going to say it one more time. Do not sleep on the men patterns, because the men patterns are bringing it. Okay, like for instance, I'm gonna give you a couple of scenarios. Julian's pattern. At first, when it dropped, it was the pants and knit top pattern. Yo, I didn't pick it up. I actually picked up his first pattern, and then the second one, I was like, I don't know. And then I get to the store and I was like, I gotta snatch that up off the shelf. So do not sleep on a lot of these patterns. I know when you first see them, you're like, I don't know. And then you go to the store when they drop and you're like, yep, I'm gonna pick that up. That's what happened with the Donnie pattern. And when I seen Norris, he literally unzipped at the knees and dropped the bottom. I was like, yeah, we definitely got to get that. And it came home with me. So this pattern right here is 2056 Donnie Cute's pattern. So let's go ahead and get into the shirt and pant pattern right here. So for Donnie Cute pattern, he created a shirt and pant pattern. It's an average to sew pattern for sure. Now for the shirt is your button down shirt, and for the pants, it's like your standard pants with patch pockets on the back. All right. In terms of sizing for this, you have 2 sizings, 34 to 42 and 44 to 52, kind of like your normal standard men's sizes as well. In terms of fabric, you guys already know in terms of fabric, you could use for the button down shirt, you can use any type of fabric of your choosing, cotton, linen, poplin, nylon, just to name a few there. You can use mesh, you can use chino, you can use flannel, you can use whatever you want in terms of your button-down shirt. Now, when it comes to those pants, you can use cotton blends, twill, linen, nylon, ripstop, whatever you want, basically for the pants. You know how heavy and or how light you want your pants. All right. Moving over to the next pattern, it is 2057. Yes, it's Alyssa's pattern. And this pattern is a missus jacket with optional hood. Did you just hear me not say optional hood? Meaning that you can put the hood on or off. I do like that detail. It is an average to sew pattern. So let's go ahead and get into it. In terms of the pattern sizing for this pattern, Alyssa, she does patterns more like a petite. So I'm not going to say always, but most of her patterns do cater towards the petite sizes as well. So this pattern starts out at a size 4 and go to 12 on the first envelope, and then 14 to 22 on the second envelope. All right. But I like this jacket. You guys know I'm gonna pick it up as well. You guys know I like jackets. I don't get to make them as much as I used to when I stayed in South Carolina, but I like jackets. Moving over to the next pattern to keep this video pretty short but give you all the details. It is 2058. Ella's pattern, handmade millennial. It is a coat pattern, and it is a color block coat pattern. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for Ella's pattern, it's a Mrs. Coat pattern. It is an average to sew pattern. In terms of the sizing, the first pattern is 6 to 14 and the second pattern is 16 to 24 on the second pattern. Now, let's talk about what I like about this coat. Color blocking. Like, did y'all not see that drop when she sneak peeked it? I was like, okay, Ella, I see you, girl. I see you. I see you. But the coat, I am definitely going to pick up. I could definitely see some color options that I'm already weighing for my next collection, hoping to get it done in October, no later than November, first week in November. All right, let's move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 2059. I just spoke about him, and it's Julian's pattern I am so excited for, which is a men's coat. Why not? So let's go ahead and get into it. So Julian created a men's coat. It is an average to sew pattern for sure. So in terms of the sizing, is size 38 to 46 and 48 to 56 on this pattern. Now, I like the fact that the pockets on the coat is kind of like, I don't know what it's called, but it's not sightseeing pockets. I don't even know what to even call it, but I like the fact that it's not a sightseeing pocket, but it's kind of like a inverted pocket. I don't even know what to call it. Y'all comment below and let me know what is it called. All right. Anyway, I also like the button detail that you have in the back as well. So yes, I am definitely picking this up, not for the hub, for myself. Thank you, Julian. Even though I don't make a lot of coats and jackets now because of the weather where I'm at, but I gotta make this pattern. I'm super excited when Julian showed that in his reel. Thank you, Julian. All right, and the last pattern, let's go ahead and get over to that last pattern. So the last pattern that's part of the KNOWME collection is Nora's pattern, and it's a men's puffer coat and 2 lengths. Now, this is 2061. So let's go ahead and talk about Nora's pattern. It is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing for his pattern is 34 to 42 and then 44 to 52 on that second pattern. In terms of the fabric options, because I have never sewn a puffer coat whatsoever. So in terms of like the fabric, you can use cotton blend, lightweight twill, nylon, just to name a few. You're also going to need some lining fabric for this and some batting for this as well. Now, it does talk about interlining as well, which will be your cotton blends, your polyester blend, and your muslin fabric as well. Now, for me, what I will definitely do with this one, because like I said, I have never sewn a puffer jacket. I'm just going to completely wait for the sew along from Nora's to get a better understanding and idea of what I want to do and what type of fabric to use. Even though it says cotton, I think for me, I would probably do a lightweight twill for this one and do it in a solid color. I do have some prints that's twill in my stash as well, But we're going to see. I did mention batting or baiting, whatever you want to call it, right? So I want to say this is more like a kind of quilted jacket if you're using some baiting or batting. But I like this jacket. I like this jacket. I really, really like this jacket. It reminds me of like a down coat from Burlington Coat Factory back in the days, okay? So yes, I am going to be picking up all of the patterns in the KNOWME patterns, and I'm hoping that I inspired you to pick up a few of these as well. Let me know in the comment section below which ones you will be picking up and why. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and since you made it this far, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and also smash that notification bell so you are notified every time your girl uploads a new video. So stay tuned for my next video, as I'm going to be talking about the mccalls Fall 2023 pattern coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep sewing.